find a one. You see that box up there? That's where you're supposed to fling the rivet. No, way out there as if I'm a goalkeeper.
Sorry, I slipped.
Oh, you slipped, did you? That's the second time you've slipped today. If it happens again, you're going right to the office and straight out of this yard. Now throw us up another rivet, and God help you this time if you miss. Hey, watch yourself! What's the matter with you?
Right leg.
Where?
My ankle.
Let's have a look at it. I think we'd better get you off this ship as quick as possible.
Ah, good evening.
Yes, I was just closing. What do you want?
Oh, this is a wee bit big for a tobacco pouch. No, I'm Dr. Finlay.
Oh, that's who you are.
Yes, where's the lad?
I brought him back from the shipyard. It's but a swollen ankle, I've seen to it myself. But I'd like you to sign the sickness claim.
Ah, I see. Well, as I'm here anyway, I think I'll just take a look at him.
Oh, well, I suppose if you must.
Joe!
Football, that's how he did it. Sit up to the doctor.
No, don't bother. Just stay where you are. See. What's this then?
I made a meal poultice. That's the thing for swellings.
It's not always, Mrs. Grant. When did you get this kick then, Robbie?
Just today.
You're sure it was a kick? Yes. Do you like a sweetie?
Thank you, Doctor.
No, you couldn't have been playing football today, not with an ankle like that. How long has it been troubling you?
About a week.
Why didn't you tell your mother?
It wasn't hurting me all that much.
I'll just strip off your jacket, will you?
Mrs. Grant, it's a very good quality leaf. And with every packet of our new Marble Arch cigarettes, the customer gets one of these colour reproductions, the Rivers of England.
That's a fine thing to sell in the Clyde.
Oh, but there'll be a Scottish series, the Clyde, the Tweed, the Tay. And I'll tell you something I picked up yesterday. There's another set of cards planned, famous British ships. Now think how well they'll go down here.
They're too dear at 5p a packet.
The best tobacco money can buy. Now, how many cartons?
None. I'll take 6 dozen packets of flints.
Flints. Yes, of course. Flints.
Right now, take a deep breath. Again. Ah, fine.
I'm all right, am I not, Doctor?
Oh, well, I hope the ships that you build are as strong as that chest.
Oh, I forgot to snack it this morning.
And 5:30, that's an early rising, isn't it?
Oh, I always scrub out the shop before I go to my work. And then it takes an hour to get to the yard.
Ah, well, you won't have to travel for a wee while. Oh, Knox Hill Academy awarded to Robert Grant, Ducks, Class 2A. First prize in science.
Well, didn't do too bad at some things, Doctor. But tell me, Doctor, how long will I have to stay in my bed?
Well, I'm not quite sure yet.
You'll be paying another visit?
Certainly will.
Well, would you do me a wee favour?
Yes.
You see, I want to borrow a book from a library. Gray's Intermediate Chemistry.
You really are keen on science, aren't you?
Would you get it for me?
Of course I will.
Here, would you like to see something?
Yes, what is it?
There's a key in my jacket.
Oh.
I'd like a wee laboratory.
Oh, well, eh? Does your mother know about this?
She isn't really my mother. Dad married again when I was 2. I wouldn't be telling her my secrets.
Well, she'll soon find out if you blow a hole in the roof.
Oh, no, I'll go carefully. You know what I'd like to be, Doctor?
No.
An inventor. Like Bell, or Stevenson. Or that man Logie Baird, the one that's trying to send pictures through the air.
Well, maybe one day you will be, Robbie.
Aye. Not in the shipyard, though, Doctor.
No, maybe not in the shipyard. No. I wouldn't forget the book.
Thanks, Doctor.
Oh, you'd better hang on to these.
Thanks.
Cheerio.
Bye, Doctor.
You'll let me have these next week then, will you?
Delivery sometime on Thursday. Good day, Mrs. Grant.
I suppose you're going to give me a line for some expensive ointment.
No, Mrs. Grant, ointments won't cure your son's ankle, only time will.
What do you mean? Is he going to be off his work for long?
I'd say about 6 months anyway.
6 months? You're not serious.
I am. You'll have to look after him well. Robbie has a diseased ankle bone, tuberculosis. You'll have to wear a leg iron.
That's all it needed. An invalid on my hands. You've got to have treatment for that ankle and a support on it.
You mean a leg iron?
Aye. And according to him, you're not to be back at your work for another 6 months.
Sorry?
Oh, well. I suppose you'll be able to sit around and read your senses away now.
Oh, no. There must be something I can do. For a start, I could start the bags for the shop.
That's a fine job for a man.
Well, there'll be other things.
6 months, indeed. These doctors think you can live on air.
I'll get sick pay, you know.
Oh.
I remember his father, Campsie Grant, treating him once or twice.
What for?
Usually a punch in the nose.
He's like that, was he?
Always arguing with his fists. In fact, he lived in the pub before he died.
Well, I don't blame him. She's a real bitter pill. Stick to wee Robbie in the shipyard, and he's far too intelligent.
A strange woman. They say the wind eye blew ill with Jessie Grant. But nobody was ever quite sure if she was like that because he drank, or if he drank because she was like that. I fancy it was a bit of both. And then the boy. Nothing was ever good enough when he was in short trousers, but the older he got, the harder she grew on him.
I'm afraid he turned out like his father.
That could be the reason.
Well, whatever it was, she certainly makes the wicked stepmother story come true anyway.
Oh, that's going a bit too far.
Which time I was away, I may be a bit late back from Glasgow tonight.
Oh, it doesn't take all day to collect a leg brace. And maybe you're paying another call.
Maybe.
Well, give that particular heart condition my regards. I wish I could sing.
Now then, my undernourished friend, what other revolting props and stayers does your sad anatomy bring to mind, eh? Yes, of course, a rib cage.
A rib cage.
The most cumbersome object you have in stock, is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. Be so kind as to read the list to me.
1 Thomas's splint, 1 pair of crutches, 1 collar, 1 full-length leg brace, 1 surgical boot, no particular size, and 1 rib cage.
Good. Send the bill to me at the Grand Central Hotel, would you? And kindly deliver the hardware to me at the Old Comrades Hall, Charing Cross, no later than 6, do you understand me?
I'll see to it right away, Mr. Lestrange.
Dr. Lestrange.
Oh, I beg your pardon, Doctor.
Good.
Oh, Dr. Finlay, you're here for the leg iron.
Yes, I sent the measurements.
Yeah, we've got it all ready for you. I'll not keep you a moment.
Cool.
I assume you're about to clamp one of your wretched patients in irons, Doctor.
But don't you use them in your practice too, then?
Oh, indeed I do, yes, indeed. I use them as an example of the frequent futile fettering of the human limbs carried out quite unnecessarily by countless well-meaning but badly informed blacksmiths possessing medical degrees.
But I thought I just saw you order...
Mere illustration, my dear doctor, mere illustration. My former stock went adrift somewhere between New York and the city. To see those delivered on time, would you? Thank you. Thank you. Good day.
Day? Dr. Gilbert Lestrange, Suite 205, Grand Central Hotel. From the Most High cometh healing.
He's some kind of touring medicine man.
I mean, he's a quack.
Well, they say he gets results.
I'll bet he does.
Well, he's had 2 meetings already. He's got a huge following. He's a sellout.
I wouldn't mind seeing the performance. I bet I can guess who's selling who out. Well, we can go in now.
But you said we were going to the theatre.
This will be just as entertaining.
Look, you threw away my crutches and gave me back my confidence. Long may your work continue. Harold Roy, New York City. I didn't believe in miracles, but you cured me of that too. I can even drive a car again. The only thing missing from this collection is Lauder's curly steak.
He bought all these in Soho Street this afternoon. He's a pure swindler. Come on now. This will whiten your medical knowledge.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And now may I introduce to you my assistant, the daughter of a Red Indian chief, but a true brave of the tribe. A pretty young woman destined to lie helpless on the reservation, an invalid with a broken back, sustained through an injury from a horse. They took her from the reservation to the doctor at the railhead, and from the railhead they took her to the hospital in the city. Would you tell these good people what the specialists in their great wisdom said to you, my dear?
They said I was incurable.
Mark that well, ladies and gentlemen, incurable. I could show you hundreds and hundreds of written testimonials here, but now, for you all to see, is the finest testimonial of them all. Would you show them, my dear?
Broken back?
Broken back, my foot.
Today, joined with me in the quest to heal where others have failed, Marietta is restored to joyous health. And here lies the reason. My electrothermic, thermatic, therapeutic cabinet. How do you do, sir? Now, before I ask you to remove this ridiculous conch from your auricular region, let me point out, in your particular case, I propose to submit you to my electrothermic method of dealing with deafness. Do you understand me?
Aye, go ahead. Give my eardrums a tickle, Doctor.
One question. How long has it been since you were able to hear without the use of this miserable trumpet?
Oh, about 10 years or so.
10 long years, ladies and gentlemen. Very well, let us proceed in there, please. Good. Stand by. Tell me, sir, how do you feel now? I said, how do you feel now?
Feel? I feel grand. I heard you.
Oh, yes, it is. I'll bet you anything you like that crafty old Highlander was lip reading.
Come this way. Thank you so much. How do you do? Let's see now, what have we here? A condition popularly known as drop wrist to my right.
Yes, Doctor.
I see. You've had this for what, about
a year.
About a year, I see.
An accident at my work. Everything seemed to mend except the wrist.
Quite. And my assistant will help you off with your jacket.
Are you sure you want to try this one? Well, that wrist looks kind of dicky to me.
Since when did you become a physician?
Since when did you?
Splendid, splendid. First class. Just go in there, please, would you? Thank you. Just hold those, please. Best you can with that hand, of course. Fine. Stand by.
No, I don't like the sound of this one. When he starts interfering with a condition like that, he's dangerous.
Why don't you do something about it?
Now that should be sufficient impulse to stimulate the nerve motors. There we are, sir. Look at me, sir. You are going to use that wrist, that hand, those fingers again. Do you hear me?
Yes, Doctor.
I am now going to remove the wrist support.
One moment, Doctor.
Oh. May I ask the reason for this interruption?
Yes, I'll gladly tell you and all these other gullible people here. I am a qualified doctor.
Oh, I'm delighted to hear it. Are you here touting for patients? Surely that's against your code, isn't it?
I will not give my name, but I will give you a piece of advice. Don't remove that wrist support.
Oh, why not?
Even from here I can tell what's the matter. There's a paralysis of the radial nerve. The bone may still be on the mend.
Or it may not be. Surely, Doctor, you are familiar with forms of hysteria.
Of course I am.
Then presumably you are aware that the paralysis of the extensors of the wrist and fingers in this case might be due to other than physical reasons.
Possibly. But you can't take the risk. That support may be necessary.
I say this man can use his wrist.
And I say he may not be able to.
I see. Well, now, what does the audience think? Do you think we should try? Doctor, whatever your name is. What about you, sir? Do you wish this manacle removed?
Yes, Doctor, I do.
You're going to have a firm wrist, aren't you? Fingers that can flex?
Yes, Doctor.
Look, you've got to believe me. Don't do it.
I want to use my hand again, Doctor. I'm ready to take the chance.
You shall use your hand again. Now then, shake my hand. I said shake my hand.
It may be all right now, but what about later?
That's what you say. That's what all the doctors say. That's all they ever did say. Later. But look at that. My wrist was fine. It works fine.
Another 5 weeks time, that wrist might be... I told you.
Oh, so you're back, are you? And about time, too.
I was away down at the library. Dr. Finlay gave me a lift in his car.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Grant.
More books. I'll take those. Your dinner's on the table, Robbie.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night, then, Robbie.
Well, when does the iron come off?
Oh, not for a few weeks yet, I think.
A few weeks?
This kind of treatment takes time, you know.
Aye, and money. You doctors are all the same. Keep the patient dangling. It keeps the bell of the till ringing.
Mrs. Grant, I may remind you that the Shipyard Benevolent Fund is paying my fee.
Robbie doesn't want any benevolence. He just wants to be back at his work.
I don't think he's too worried about the prospect of another 6 weeks at home.
He would have been before he came under your influence.
Mrs. Grant, it's Robbie's ankle that's keeping him off work, not me. That's certainly not the case.
You're trying to turn him into a lazy good-for-nothing like his father.
That's nonsense. The boy has ambition, that's all.
Ambition. Don't talk to me about ambition. I had a belly full of ambition with his father. The sky was the limit with him, and that's where he spent his time. Up in the clouds. Folks thought I made him leave his job with the railways, but it's not true. This shop was his idea. His idea, but I did all the work. Oh, he had great ideas, all right. We'd have a chain of shops and God knows what. But all his plans came to nothing. Because he sat on that stool and thought all the money that came over the counter was his.
I'm sorry, I didn't...
So am I. The only chain we ever got was the chain that binds me to this hovel. I've spent years driving it into Robbie that anything you want out of life you've got to pay for. And now you come along and start undoing it all.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Grant.
Look at that.
Knoxhill and Tannochbrae, Grand West of Scotland tour. The amazing Dr. Lestrange. Knoxhill Town Hall, Thursday, March 22nd. See the latest electrothermatic methods of healing and the famous salts of the earth cures. That's the fellow Alan told us about. He saw the peep shows some months back.
The amazing Dr. Lestrange. I wonder if he can cure bunions with all those sparks.
You take one step with one misshapen foot in the direction of that charlatan and I'll cut off your bunions with that.
I wish you could.
I beats me how he gets away with it, though.
Obviously he doesn't break the law.
He's not a doctor, he's a showman.
I dare say. Well, that's why he rents Knoxhill Town Hall instead of consulting rooms.
Town Hall?
What about it?
Let's see. Hey, I'll be back in time for evening surgery.
Saddled and bridled and booted rode he, a plume on his helmet, a sword at his knee.
All right, that's enough. Dr. Snoddy, Dr. Finlay. Well, I'm afraid I can only give you 10 minutes, gentlemen. I'm having lunch with the Baileys. Now, it's a bit of a change this from that old butcher's shop of mine. Right, well, let's get down to business. It seems you've been studying our bylaws, Dr. Finlay.
Yes, I have. And in my opinion, Lestrange should not be allowed the use of the town hall.
As medical officer, I was consulted by the provost. I couldn't see any legal grounds for refusing the let.
Oh, couldn't you? Well, this section is quite clear. Any meeting, exhibition or social function which, in the opinion of the council, may be against the interests of the general public.
Oh, yes, Doctor. There's no need to read it out.
Well, Lestrange is sheer quack.
I understand you've seen one of his mass surgeries.
Yes, I have. And if anything is against the public interest, that is.
Oh, I'm sure Dr. Snoddy would agree with me that that is a matter of opinion.
As a fellow doctor, Finlay, I'm bound to say I side with you. But the plain fact is, Dr. Lestrange advertises himself as a healer. The best way to run him out of business is to let people find out for themselves.
So you don't mind local people being exposed to confidence tricksters?
That's hardly what I meant.
How would you like one of your patients to go and see him then?
None of my patients is likely to seek his remedies.
No. We must try to keep our hackles down. Dr. Finlay, this fellow Lestrange approached us in a normal, straightforward manner about the hire of the town hall. We're charging him a high fee. Dr. Lestrange guarantees us a full house.
You talk as if it were a brass band concert or a Band of Hope bazaar.
What the provost is trying to say is this. Provided Lestrange doesn't infringe any laws, there's no reason to ban the meeting.
Well, there's another local law about making false claims.
He doesn't make any direct claim.
That's so. He calls himself a doctor.
Oh, well, I think we can soon settle this matter. Dr. Lestrange, will you come away in?
Thank you so much.
This is Dr. Snoddy, our medical officer.
How do you do, Doctor?
And this is Dr. Finlay.
Yes.
Will you take a seat, Doctor?
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you so much.
Dr. Lestrange will not beat about the bush. We have certain rules and regulations governing the procedure for the hire of the town hall.
Quite.
One of which precludes the making of false claims. Now, Dr. Finlay here claims that you're uttering a falsehood by calling yourself doctor.
Well, you seem to have taken our little duel of words quite to heart, haven't you, Doctor?
Oh, we didn't know you'd already met.
Oh, indeed, yes. Head on would be an apt description. I'm hardly surprised Dr. Finlay is nursing a grievance, considering he, had to retire from a meeting of mine or else be thrown out by an angry audience.
You didn't tell us this.
He's sidetracking. This has nothing to do with my present complaint.
So you want to ban me because you think I'm not a doctor?
Well, we might have to take that step.
Let me put your minds at rest, gentlemen. I am a doctor. I do have a medical certificate. You may read it if you wish. I think you'll find it perfectly in order.
Oh, an American degree.
The University of San Pasos, California.
Never heard of it.
No, I agree. It's one of the less illustrious medical faculties, but it's a very charming place.
Yes, well, they no doubt sell their degrees for dollars.
As we are in chambers, presumably a certain privilege applies. However, I wouldn't advise you to make a similar remark outside.
Well, your degree appears to be genuine.
Oh, indeed, yes, indeed it is, yes. Unfortunately, owing to the existing laws, I'm not allowed to indulge in general practice in this country. However, I do believe I am entitled to use the word doctor before my name.
Of course you are, doctor.
Oh, thank you so much. And I take it the meeting may take place at the advertised time.
Well, there seems no reason why not.
Good. Charming town you have here. I was looking around it this morning. Absolutely.
Good evening, Mrs. Grant. You're shut then. Oh, I just wanted some tobacco for Dr. Cameron. How much? 2 ounces. That's a bonny hat you're wearing, Mrs. Grant. Is it new?
It was new 10 years ago.
Uh-huh. I was lucky to catch you. You're going out.
Aye, to Knox Hill.
Well, good evening, Rabbie.
Good evening, Mrs. Dennett.
Well, it's nice to see you and Rabbie stepping out for a change. Are you going to the pictures?
Pictures? I've no time for that peep show rubbish. No, I'm taking Robbie to see this new doctor.
Not Dr. Lestrange.
They say he's 10 years ahead of his time. And as far as I'm concerned, he's the one to see to this ankle.
And what about Dr. Finlay?
He's had his chance. I'm sick and tired of seeing Robbie hanging around in that leg garden. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'll have to rush. Robbie, wait for me outside. I'll just go and fetch my purse.
Excuse me.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Good night.
Insurance. That's all women seem to think about. From the moment you get married, they contemplate your death. Like those millionaire wives you read about in detective novels. Every 10 years or so, my wife set me to raise the amount. I tell you, Doctor, sometimes I get downright suspicious.
Yes, well, no doubt you had both your interests at heart, Mr. Gillespie. Looking after your old age.
If I ever get there.
Aye.
Well,
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Next, please.
Dr. Finlay,
Yes, Janet, what is it?
it's Ravi Grant.
What about him?
Jessie's taking him to Knox Hill in the bus. They're going to the town hall to see that Dr. Lestrange.
Oh, no!
Well, what are you going to do about it?
There we are, madam. My unique salts of the earth cure. I think you'll find it will be perfectly all right.
Thank you.
May I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that after my meeting, my dispensary will be open for you to partake of any remedy you wish. Ah, how do you do? What can we do for this strapping young lad, eh?
Show him, Robbie.
Another shameful example of shackling. Would you go on the examination couch, my boy? Good. You see? Good, sound, healthy-looking limb. What's been the trouble?
He had a bad ankle for a while,
Mhm.
and the doctor, Dr. Finlay, made him wear the brace.
Dr. Finlay, I see. How long have you been lugging around this leaden weight, my boy?
About 4 months, sir.
4 long months indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
It's high time it was off, but the doctor said he wouldn't be able to use his leg without it.
Did you know? Well, we shall see about that, shall we? Do come over here, my boy. Now, don't be afraid.
Well, I'm not afraid. I'm interested in science.
Ah, you really? This will be a very useful experience for you. Just go and sit in there, my lad. There we are. Let's hold those, will you? One there and one there. Good. Good.
You're a fool to handle this one. That's a TB ankle and you know it.
What you are about to see, ladies and gentlemen, is a demonstration of my latest wave treatment. A series of impulses penetrating the bone and tissue, restoring the vital locomotive power and toning up the vital nerve and muscle. This one's a gift. That bone's perfectly refirmed.
How can you be so sure?
Finlay's been playing it safe.
And if you're wrong, what happens?
Won't worry about that now.
But that boy might lose his leg.
Oh, shut up. Let's get on with it. Stand by, please. Stand up, my lad. Listen to me. You are going to walk properly again. I'm going to remove that loathsome leg iron.
Oh, Clanter! Strange, take your hand off that leg iron! You don't meddle with that boy's condition.
Really, Doctor, I'm getting a little tired of these interruptions.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Highbrow, Robbie, here. It's none of your business.
Oh, isn't it?
Surely the good lady's entitled to consider whichever treatment she considers best.
That is a diseased ankle bone. The only way to treat that is to shore up the affected part till the bone mends. Otherwise, you endanger the whole ankle.
To make a cripple of a normal boy, really?
Link, even you know it was necessary.
The proof of that is whether or not he can use his leg properly.
That's what I see.
My boy, do you wish me to remove this leg iron?
Yes, I would.
What about his mother? What do you say, madam?
Remove it.
Good.
Look, I'm warning
Do
you.
as I tell you, Doctor. Take it off.
Fine. Stand up, my boy. Look at me. You are going to walk over to your mother. Do you understand me?
Well, it's fine. You've done it, Doctor. You've done it.
You're as rusty as an old rivet, but you'll improve.
Thanks, Tory.
How's the leg getting on?
Oh, it's fine.
I had to put Robbie back to work.
What of it? Have you come into my shop to buy something?
No.
Then kindly leave.
Look, I came to ask you to reconsider putting the leg iron back on Robbie.
It's 3 weeks since the leg iron came off, and no ill's come of it.
Yes, but he's back at work now. He's standing on it all day at the yard.
Putting in his time as he should, and liking it.
Mrs. Grant, I won't say this again. If anything happens to Robbie, it's your responsibility.
Here's Robbie now. He'll tell you for himself. Robbie, tell the doctor how you are.
Fine, thanks, Doctor.
I'm glad to hear it.
He wants you to wear the brace again.
Well, only because I think it's necessary. You might be able to get another job at the yard in the meantime.
Well, go on. Tell him what you think of that.
Well, I don't want the iron back on again, Doctor.
There's your answer. Come along into your tea, Robbie. There's nothing more to be said. Excuse me.
I can't force you to take my advice.
No.
Well, how are the science experiments coming on?
Don't get much time now. I'm doing overtime down at the yard. On that new Atlantic liner.
I won't keep you off your tea. Good night, Robbie.
Night, Doctor.
Finlay.
Yes. How is he?
I'm afraid that ankle's really bad. Oh, the fall hasn't done so much damage to the rest of him. He's a few bad bruises, of course, but I may have to do something drastic about that ankle.
What's as bad as that, is it?
Well, I'm waiting to see the x-ray, but I gather you're aware of the case history.
Oh, it's some history.
Well, he wants to have a word with you.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, Doctor.
There's nothing to be sorry about.
But you were right about the iron.
Matter.
All I did yesterday. My ankle. It was all swollen. I should have told you.
Don't you bother about that. You just get some sleep. We'll talk about it after. Come on.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Yes.
Is there any news of the boy?
Yes, the news is bad, I'm afraid.
His leg, eh?
Yes, it's serious.
Well, that boy should never have been back at work, Doctor. His leg wasn't right.
Yes, well, it would have been. Not for interference.
Well, you mean this quack, Doctor, eh? Well, how he's got a brass neck to carry on with these meetings, I'll never know. I hear he's at it again tonight out in Dumbarton.
Another full house, no doubt. Ah, there isn't one born every minute. There are hundreds of them. Excuse me. Well, Mrs. Grant?
Have you seen Robbie?
Yes.
What's happening?
You're a wee bit late with your concern, Mrs. Grant.
I did what I thought was best. He never told me it was giving him trouble.
I never told you the first time either, did he? When he said he got a kick playing football, he was afraid you might think he was dodging the column. Afraid you'd despise him the same way as you despised his father.
He wanted to see that Dr. Lestrange. It was his idea as much as mine. I never forced him.
You never forced him to do anything. You never had to. He was only too willing to do whatever you asked. Otherwise, you might lose that remote possibility of your showing him a grain of affection one day. That mattered more to him than anything else. You realise that, don't you? No, I don't suppose it ever entered your head.
I did what I thought was best. Really, I did.
Well, that's the result.
What do you mean?
We're just waiting to see the X-ray. There's a possibility we may have to amputate.
No. Oh, no. You can't do it. You can't take off his leg. Please, to God, no. I know I'm a stepmother, and I've been hard on him, but I love him. I loved his father, too. Broke my heart when he turned into a weak wastrel. I was afraid for Robbie, that's all. I wanted him to grow up tough, doing a good day's work. But please say he won't have to have his leg removed.
Dr. Finlay, can you spare a moment?
Excuse me. I've just seen the X-ray. There's a possibility that they may not have to amputate.
Doctor!
You can warm yourself in the sun's rays, or if you choose, immerse the body in spa water. But we do know that aches and pains are not just skin deep. No. The treatment must go further, searching out those tired tissues, toning up those flaccid muscles. In your case, madam, I can't guarantee to make you dance in eightsome. But my amazing electrothematic method will give you a newfound strength. The beginning of the road to recovery. Remember, living is not merely being alive, but being well.
And sometimes the cure can kill the patient.
Well, Doctor, it seems you're completely unable to stay away from my demonstrations. Perhaps you're here to pick up a few tips.
No, I'm too busy picking up your injured. Some time ago, you treated a patient of mine.
A boy with a horrid leg iron, if I remember correctly, yes.
Well, I think your audience ought to know how that boy is getting on. Mrs. Grant, please. All right. This is the boy's mother. An hour ago, she left his bedside in hospital. He nearly lost his leg, thanks to these so-called healing methods.
Oh, this is a lie. That boy's condition was perfect when he left here.
It's the truth. He said they were a fake and a rogue.
You better mark your words, madam.
I should have heeded my own doctor, but I was a fool. And if you'll take my advice now, you'll have nothing more to do with this swindler.
You mustn't listen to her. It's a pack of lies. I have hundreds of testimonials here to prove it. No one has suffered at my hands.
Isn't it truly strange you treated a man for paralysis of the hand?
I can't remember.
Well, he can. His arm is back in an iron, possibly for life.
It's a pack of lies, I tell you.
At Knox Hill, you sold a woman some of your famous salts of the earth. Well, her doctor analysed them. They contained potassium iodide. She was nearly poisoned.
She must have taken an overdose. It's a very, very strong medicine. I understand that.
Very expensive. How much did she have to pay for being poisoned by you?
Now, look here.
Doctor!
Leave me now!
Get away! did very well, Mrs. Grant.
You're right, Doctor.
Damage the wall.
They're a right rowdy lot, these riveters, eh?
Right, Tony, you're already coming out here. That's the idea.
Well, Laddie, how are you?
I'm fine now. But they still have to be in here for a few days.
Yes, they told me. Wouldn't be for long, though. I brought you some books. When you finish these, I can always get you some more.
Did you choose these?
Yes, I did. That's all right.
Oh, they're fine.
Robbie.